There's a weight you've been carrying that has nothing to do with your body. It doesn't show up on a scale, doesn't leave bruises anyone can see, but it's there, pressing down on your chest at 2 a.m., tightening your jaw when certain names cross your mind, turning ordinary moments bitter because something in you won't let go. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The person who betrayed you, the one who lied to your face, the one who took something from you, time, trust, innocence, opportunity, and never looked back. You've replayed what they did 1,000 times, rehearsed conversations that will never happen, built a case so airtight you could present it to a jury and win. But here's what you haven't noticed. They moved on, maybe years ago, and you're still holding the knife they stabbed you with, blade pointed at your own chest. That's not justice. That's a life sentence you keep renewing. Let me be clear about something. This isn't about excusing what they did. It's not about pretending the wound didn't happen. It's not some soft spiritual bypass that tells you to smile and forget. What they did was real. The pain was real. Your anger, justified. But justified and useful aren't the same thing. And the grudge you've been carrying, it stopped being useful a long time ago. Now it's just furniture in your mind, taking up space, collecting dust, blocking the door to rooms you're supposed to be living in. Here's what nobody tells you about unforgiveness. It doesn't travel. You think you're aiming it at them, at the one who wronged you, but resentment doesn't work like that. It doesn't leave your body. It stays inside, circulates, poisons everything it touches. Your sleep, your peace, your ability to trust new people who had nothing to do with old pain. You've been drinking poison and waiting for them to get sick. And they're out there, living, laughing, forgetting, while you rot from the inside out. That's not revenge. That's self-destruction wearing a mask called justice. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. 27 years stolen by people who saw him as less than human. When he walked out, a reporter asked if he felt anger toward his captors. He said something I've never forgotten. He said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." Read that again. He'd still be in prison. The bars weren't made of steel anymore. They were made of resentment, and he refused to carry them. That wasn't weakness. That was the most powerful thing a man can do. Refuse to let someone else's cruelty define the rest of his life. Think about how much energy you've spent on this. The mental loops, the imaginary arguments, the moments of genuine happiness interrupted by sudden flashbacks of what they did. You've given them years of your life without them even being in the room. They didn't just hurt you once. You've let them hurt you over and over, inside your own head, on your own time, in your own sacred space. And they don't even know. They're not thinking about you. They're not losing sleep. They're not replaying the same moment you can't escape. Only you are. Which means the prison isn't something they built. It's something you maintain. I know what you're thinking. Forgiving feels like losing, like admitting what they did was okay, like letting them win. But forgiveness isn't approval. It's not reconciliation. You don't have to talk to them again. Don't have to let them back in your life. Don't have to pretend the wound doesn't exist. Forgiveness is simply releasing your grip on the rope that's been burning your hands. It's saying, I refuse to let this moment define the rest of my moments. It's choosing yourself over the story you've been telling. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You're the one who gets burned. And you've been burned long enough. Not because you're weak, not because you invited the pain, but because somewhere along the way, you decided that holding on to this was safer than letting it go. Safer than trusting again. Safer than feeling again. Safer than admitting that moving on feels like betraying yourself. But it's not betrayal. It's freedom. And freedom has been waiting for you on the other side of that clenched fist. So what do? You don't force it. Forgiveness isn't a switch, it's a process. But you start by acknowledging the cost. What has this grudge taken from you? What joy has it blocked? What relationships has it sabotaged? What peace has it stolen? Count the cost, not theirs, yours. And then ask yourself, is this person worth one more day of my freedom? One more sleepless night? One more bitter thought interrupting a moment that could have been sweet? If the answer is no, then the work begins. Slowly, imperfectly, one exhale at a time. Here's what I want you to know. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. You'll remember, scars don't disappear, but scars don't have to bleed forever either. You can carry the memory without carrying the weight. You can honor your pain without letting it run your life. You can forgive not for them, but for the man you're trying to become, the one who isn't defined by the worst thing someone did to him. They hurt you. That's true. But the grudge you're carrying now, that's on you. Not because the pain was your fault, but because the healing is your responsibility. And healing can't begin while your hands are still wrapped around something that was supposed to be dropped years ago. Let it go. Not for them, for you. You've served enough time in a prison they forgot existed. It's time to walk out.